Dude, spoilers. Benimaru is by far one of the strongest characters in all of Fire Force. It is exciting watching him use his abilities to absolutely demolish anyone who gets in his way. But there is something about his character that, in my opinion, makes him even more interesting. His reluctance. Although Benimaru is insanely powerful, he doesn't seem to really like using his pyrokinetic abilities. Through flashbacks, we learn that he never really had a desire to lead, or even become the captain of Fire Force Company 7. First, we should discuss what makes Benimaru's powers unique, and then we can discuss why the sound design of his character is so important. It turns out that Benimaru has a very unique trait, even among the cast of the show. He is a hybrid pyrokinetic, and has both second and third generation abilities. Let me quickly explain what this means. A second generation pyrokinetic user is able to manipulate flames to their will. A third generation pyrokinetic user is able to manifest and produce their own flames for whatever desire they need. This gives Shinmon Benimaru a great advantage in combat, because while he can create very powerful flame attacks, he can also use his opponent's attacks against them. So how does the sound design give the viewer information about Benimaru's character? There are a few interesting and unique approaches that we can look at. First is the amount of bass associated with Benimaru's attacks. Typically, Koyama, the sound effects designer for Fire Force, will add a substantial amount of bass to the really heavy hits of the show. Benimaru is no exception. This absolutely massive drop of sound is meant to indicate just how powerful Benimaru is, and I think that it gets the point across. But with the proper context, it not only hypes up the attack even more, but delivers an interesting piece of the story. When I mentioned Benimaru's reluctance, this is what I was referring to. This move is actually borrowed from his friend Conro. It's his technique. It is the same technique that Conro used on a Demon Infernal back in the day that caused his tephrosis and stripped away his pyrokinetic ability. Conro used to be the captain of Company 7 and sacrificed his body to protect the people of Asakusa. When Benimaru uses this skill, he does the same thing. However, not only does he not develop tephrosis, but he barely breaks a sweat. This shows us the full, completed cycle. Benimaru steps up and fulfills his role of being the leader, finally accepting all of the responsibilities that comes with that. And this is further emphasized by the fact that he accepts it using the same techniques Conro did, by protecting his district in his own way. The monumental sound that we hear in this attack is meant to convey all of this information in one completely overwhelming drop of sound that shows Benimaru's resolve and acceptance for his new role. When Benimaru is training Shinra and Arthur in achieving the Press of Death, we see that they are able to unlock this new skill, a last burst of strength when they are at their limit. Tamaki remarks at how quiet and how intensely hot their flames are. They look unique, but they also sound unique. Benimaru tells them to practice until they can enter this state whenever they wish, and not just when they are at their physical limits. The show never explicitly says this, but I always envisioned that Benimaru was personally a master of this stance, and that was why he was always so quiet and reserved. except when he unleashes massive attacks. If that were the case, then he, more than any other character in Fire Force, has that hysterical strength of a fire scene. Thanks for watching, Storytellers. I'm Drew Malou, and I will see you in the next video.